Okay, so I thought I would just talk you through a few colours and techniques that I used on this particular piece. It is around 10 by 9 inches. It's on pastel matte board, white pastel matte board. It's a nice smooth piece of pastel matte board. And it was an absolute joy to draw. It was just absolutely wonderful to draw. So I put a little bit of a background in. Background, the blue sky was done with a, let me find it, sky blue and cold grey one, just to give it a sort of like a little bit of a dull feel. And then obviously we've got some greens in here. All I did was, because it's pastel matte, I just very gently went round and round in circles, put all of the pigment in, and then I used a cotton bud just to smudge it and blend it, and that worked really well. The horse, so let me grab some of the pencils that I used for that. So I think these are all the ones that I used in the hair. For the main face and obviously the bit of the shoulder. The shoulder is a slightly darker colour just because of the lighting. So the front of the face is much more sort of bright bay. It's a bay horse, but it's much more bright. So thinking of the colours that I could use in there that's going to bring that vibrancy out, of course I'm going to use oranges. Actually, where's my... Here we go, there's another one here. So for the main sort of darker areas, I was using sort of like the usual burnt sienna. So this is a Polychromos burnt sienna 283. I was using Caput Mortem violet. So say in these sorts of areas where it's a little bit sort of darker, there's a little bit of shadow, a little bit of reddy colour in there, and around here as well, I'd be using things like the burnt sienna and the Caput Mortem violet. To get these really dark areas, I'd also introduce a little bit of dark indigo 157. The dark indigo, it's amazing when you incorporate it in with the browns. You've got to be a little bit careful on top of oranges because of course it might turn it green. But where you've got the reddy colours, where you've got the oranges mixed with the reddy colours, using something like a dark indigo in these areas turns it a lovely chocolatey brown. It's one of my favourite things to do when I'm working on brown animals, particularly chocolate Labradors, that kind of stuff. Introducing the dark blue into those reds and sort of reddy browns works incredibly well. Now we have got some lighter areas in here, and also when you have horses this colour, you tend to get yellows and pinks in there as well. So I've used a couple of pinks in this. Actually they're very similar in colour. Here they are, one of them has been chewed. So I have my Granite Rose Pablo, which is number 493. That's the Pablo. And then I also have Holbein Cherry Blossom. Can't tell you what the number is because it's been chewed off. But I've got, and they're very similar in colour, other than the Cherry Blossom is just a little bit paler. And the reason that I used both of them was because the Pablo is really good at going in over the top of other colours, and you can actually see the colour. So I've used this one over the, in the nose bone down here. You can see I've kind of got, I don't know whether you can see, but we've sort of got some of the lines showing, a little bit of the texture showing on the nose bone. The Holbein is very soft. This is more for sort of blending, smearing, that kind of stuff. So where I wanted it to be more softer and blended, I would use the Holbein. And then of course we've got areas up here. This is a little bit of the Granite Rose as well. And we've also got areas where it's slightly more apricot-y, slightly more orangey, but lighter, and the apricot works incredibly well for that as well.